Cape has just released Arc 8 Chapter 33, and this video will be a summary of the chapter. Highly recommend you check out my Arc 8 Chapter 32 summary. Anyways, let's begin. Gustav was the governor of Gunnenhive. He was given reign over the island by Vincent. His philosophy was the idea that imperial men must be strong. The entertainment on the Gladiator Island was of exceptional importance, and therefore this philosophy must be maintained. However, it wasn't only for entertainment. It was to keep their minds away from the constant civil war in the empire, and to keep the fangs of the imperialists from reaching the emperor. Gustav fulfilled his role as a governor, and he did it in an exceptional way, better than any of his predecessors. Gustav has joined us. Gustav, kneeling on the floor with his many arms, was knelt before Vincent Wallachia, who looked down on him. The civil war that rocked Wallachia required many people to be evacuated from the imperial capital in their fight against the undead. No matter if they were rebels or imperial guards, they had to unite against the undead. The evacuation was complete and over half of the refugees were housed within the city of Garkla. When Gustav entered Garkla, he was granted an audience with Vincent. In a room of the great fortress was Adora alongside Gustav. The swordsmen on the Gladiator Island united and renamed themselves Petelguese, with Natsuki Subaru as their leader, and Gustav as their chief strategist. Adora was selected by Gustav to assist him with the other formalities. Adora was chosen because of his level-headedness. However, in the presence of the emperor, he was nervous. Gustav asks Vincent that if after the war is over, if Adora and his men can be spared and pardoned for their crimes, stating that they are all valuable. Vincent states that they have to work hard for that to be justified. Adora fell to the floor and prostrated himself before Vincent. Gustav wanted Adora to be pardoned since he has something to contribute. He is valuable. Gustav sensed something else, a change in Vincent's generosity. Vincent had a coldness around him, a vision that the empire should follow. People would die just to grasp the vision of the empire Vincent had set out. Vincent says it's a bold move, stating that he was tasked with governing the Isles of Swords, yet he left and came before the Emperor, an existence which should shake him with fear. Vincent was there sitting in a chair. Adora cleared his throat, something which was not permissible in front of the Emperor, and his life would be forfeit usually. Gustav explains that he doesn't lead the members of the Gladiator Island, and Vincent is confused, and then Gustav says that his son leads the members of the Gladiator Island. In that moment, Vincent reacted with surprise. It was a very short reaction, but it showed to the speaker and to Vincent that he was really unprepared for that answer. Vincent then says he respects Gustav's work ethic. Gustav says that he would have stayed at the island, however they had to move due to the changing situation. Obviously, if Subaru didn't convince Gustav to leave, Gustav would have stayed on the island. Vincent again reaffirms that Gustav must prove himself in the oncoming war should he and the members of Petelguese be pardoned. Gustav agrees and says he will do his hardest. However, Adora asks Vincent a question. Adora was one of the bravest people Gustav knew. After all, he survived Sparka, and even in front of the Emperor, he pressed forward, asking Vincent what will happen to the Crown Prince Natsuki Subaru, his son, after the situation has been solved. After all, the main goal of Petelguese was for the fake prince, which is Subaru, to clash with the real Emperor Vincent. However, Adora was too naive to notice that this question was the ultimate form of disrespect to the Emperor. Gustav is usually not made upset. If he is, it's usually due to Natsuki or Cecilus. To throw Adora into the mix was a weird event. Vincent calls out Adora's name before stating it's not up to him to decide what happens. This answer confused Adora. Vincent then told him that no more disrespect will be tolerated, and then Gustav grabbed Adora before he could respond and closed his mouth with his hands. Gustav then bowed and apologized, leaving the room. The scene changed. Vincent sighs. The hard-working Gustav was convinced to leave the island. No matter how much Subaru denies it, it would make more sense if he was simply a stargazer. Anyway, Vincent states regardless, he can't be sloppy when deciding who will be going on the elite team to the Imperial capital. The selection on the Kingdom of Lagunica's side will be left to them. However, on the Imperial side, Goz would be good for a member of the squadron. The Prime Minister and Selena need to be staying in the Citadel. Those individuals who can command a large battlefield are invaluable, almost as valuable as 10 Ceciluses combined. Cecilus and his curiosity could be a detriment to the Empire. The killing of the undead would deplete the mana of Muspel. Like Halibel, who fended off the undead dragon zombie, Cecilus too would be well capable of killing everyone. Vincent mutters that if the Empire falls, then Chisha would be to blame, for after all, he was the person that put Cecilus on the Isles of Swords. Keep in mind, Vincent doesn't know if he should laugh or be angry over this. Vincent's thoughts were then interrupted by a bang at the door, and the door swung open and Medium stormed in. Jamal peeked through the open door and Vincent gave him a cold, hard stare. Vincent asked Jamal that the only order he was given was to not let anyone in unless they had permission. Jamal says that he was a lowly soldier, so he didn't know what to do considering Medium is a future queen. Vincent then asks if a general of a higher rank rebelled, would Jamal know what to do? And Jamal says yes he would, however the position of a queen is different. Vincent ignores Jamal and says that he heard that she was holed up in her room crying. But Medium says that it isn't like her, and of course she wasn't crying, before correcting herself by saying maybe a little bit. We see Flop enter the room also. Flop says he wants Medium to be a queen so she is protected. As Flop and Medium talk, Vincent tells Jamal to remove them from the room, but Medium says that she wants to go to the capital. Flop explains that it was decided a long time ago when they were on the dragon carriage. Vincent replies with the words Balleroy, and Flop says yes. When Speaker attacked Lamia, Vincent also attacked Lamia, and then Balleroy showed up and took the injured and dying Lamia away. Flop explains that him and Medium knew Balleroy from their time at Selena Dracoy's estate. Vincent asks what this has to do with Medium's request, and Flop says that Vincent already knows the answer. Medium states that she wants to talk to Balleroy, and also states that in the past she always wanted to be Balleroy's wife. Vincent says that this is simply an emotional argument, before looking at Flop and asking if he will prevent his sister from going to her death. Flop said that he already tried to convince Medium to not go, but she shrugged him off with force. In simple terms, Medium is stronger than your standard soldier. Jamal, who is better than the sword, cannot follow a simple instruction. In other words, both Jamal and Medium would have no real impact in the war. From that analysis, Vincent gives permission to Medium to go. After all, Vincent says that her presence or absence will not affect the outcome, but she will have to be diligent, meaning that she will have to fend for herself. She will not be protected. Medium then says that she can protect herself, completely oblivious that Vincent was referring to protection because she's a future queen candidate. Medium said that she thought Abel would have been mean and is glad that he's being nice. Vincent tells them to be prepared by tomorrow morning. but Flop says he isn't going because he's not suicidal. Medium then thanks Abel and leaves. Before Flop leaves, he thanks the Emperor for allowing Medium to go, especially after what she said about liking Balleroy, despite being a candidate for being a queen. Vincent responds by saying that punishing love is a tactless thing, as Flop smiles happily at Vincent's answer, and with that, the chapter ends. So, yeah, I mean, it's a transitional chapter. Nothing much really happened, but we'll see what happens next time.